Hello and welcome back, guys, to Sound of Manchester. This is your host Prathamesh, and joining me today is Mihir and Kushagra. Mihir, the coach Mihir rather, is back after a few days now. Kushagra has been there with us for a long time, and we hope both of them stay for a long time. So coming now to the UEFA Europa League, we did beat last Dings at Old Trafford. 2-1. It was a scrappy win, but a win that got us over the line. Nevertheless, a 7-1 win on aggregate. So now we play FC Copenhagen from Denmark, and this is the quarterfinal of the UEFA Europa League. One small change in the format, and which will have huge repercussions because this is a knockout game now. There is no two-legged tie, so this tie is going to be held at a neutral ground in Germany. So it's going to be a rather interesting game because Copenhagen, they finished second in the league, and they have been going good. Mihir, you have been working a bit about Copenhagen, getting your coach's insight into them. What do you make of them?
Yeah, so looking at the last game against Istanbul, they had 43% possession, and they didn't have too many shots, but they could score 3 goals, which meant that they're more of a counter-attacking team, and they're ruthless in front of goal. You can say that since they put three past the Turkish champions, and yeah, as you said just a one-legged tie. So really, there are no favorites, you can say, in a one-legged game, and we saw that against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final when we were actually the favorites, but we were pretty much humiliated by our own doing. So it's going to be interesting, but I would still say that we should get through them.
Yeah, and they are going through a little bit of injury crisis themselves, as we discussed, me, because they could only name 7 players on the bench, as the other team, Bashakshir, named 11 that day. We'll be hoping to get through this crisis. Jonas didn't score 2 goals for them. What do you make of him?
I haven't seen much of Jonas Wind actually. I've just seen his last game and his name has it all, Wind. So he's quite quick and again lethal.
Yeah, I hope that Wind is somehow being controlled by the United backline. And Kushagra, I mean, usually our talks have a lot of optimism, but we do need a lot of optimism, and we actually need a proper performance because the game against last Linz wasn't exactly a good one. We just somehow scrapped it over the line. Although we were already over the line after the first leg score, but we needed to win at Old Trafford. We couldn't lose to a LASK at Old Trafford. I mean, that would have been humiliating. So a lot of step up is required in this game. So obviously, you expect the likes of Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, and the big guns to start. But what else do you think Ole might have to offer?
I think this is the tournament that he is definitely taking seriously. And if you now count it, if United do get to the final, it's just 3 games to a trophy. So I think with Lampard getting, so much, I won't say hate, so many questions on him, and with Arteta getting so much praise for the FA Cup, I think it's sort of vital. I wouldn't put Solskjaer in the same bracket as Lampard and Arteta because Solskjaer has an established career. I agree it's not in one of the top leagues. It was in Norway and a bit at Cardiff as well. So yeah, he wasn't really a world-renowned manager before he joined United, but he did have a decent amount of experience, whichever league it may be. So, but still, winning a trophy with United, that will take a lot of pressure off. It is also slightly different for people like Rashford and Martial. If you see when United won the trophy under Jose, Martial didn't even start, and Rashford was a fringe player. So was Martial, of course. And the goals were from Pogba and Mkhitaryan, and even from Bruno Fernandes. I am not entirely sure if he was in the Euro 2016 squad because I don't think he was. So probably the biggest 2 weeks of his career in that sense, because this is the biggest trophy he's gone for. Didn't really win much at Sporting Lisbon. And for people like Pogba, people like, and other people, okay, we can probably exclude Pogba from this list. So other people, people like Harry Maguire, Lindelof, and everyone else. Lindelof wasn't a first choice starter, again, when United won the Europa League. And for Harry Maguire, who's never won a trophy, one of the biggest, weeks of his career. So it's a very interesting scenario that there is for United. So I don't think that Solskjaer will, let off from now. And it's just 3 matches. United were due to have a preseason anyway. So, might as well count this as a preseason and try to win a trophy. I still think there are a couple of teams that can genuinely challenge United. But as far as Copenhagen is concerned, they didn't. It's a league that they've dominated, their own league, the Danish league. They've dominated that for a very long time. Since I've been watching football, Copenhagen has been one of the best teams in Denmark, if not the best. So, to see that they finished, like, as you said, they finished like 16 points behind the champions Midtjylland. And, that shows that they've also not had a great season. And I'll confess as well, Istanbul were really poor against Copenhagen. They were really poor. And I was expecting more out of Istanbul. I was actually expecting a quarterfinal with Başakşehir, but it didn't really pan out that way. So I think United start as favorites, and I think United will play something close to their first team. The only worry is that if you see the last 3 or 4 matches in the Premier League that United played, and of course the last match, United haven't played well for a while. I think I'll struggle to remember when they actually, all of them clicked and they played really well. So I know it's a cup competition. Your performances don't exactly matter that much, but that's the worry that we have, because it's just one match and it can hinge on a mistake by our defenders or our midfielders or a goalkeeper. That's another interesting selection that I'm looking for. Like I'm a little confused as in if he'll pick Romero or if he'll pick De Gea, because I think all logic means that he should pick De Gea, because I was honestly pissed off with Mourinho when he picked Romero for the final, because I did not agree with it, because United finished 6th. I was really pissed off. I wouldn't be as pissed off with Solskjaer if he doesn't pick De Gea, because circumstances have changed 3 years on. But still, you go with your best goalkeeper, you go with your best team, and just 3 matches to go, as I've said many times now, and just get a trophy home, and just make it more positive. We're gonna do, just for the viewers, we're gonna do another video on Jadon Sancho, and I'll be ranting for about 10 minutes on that. I'll just do it by myself. So yeah, so that's a different video that's gonna come along. But as far as just bring some positivity to the club, get a trophy. So go for it. I'm all for it. I hope Ole plays his best team, all 3 matches. I don't care if people, if you're saying that there could be injuries or anything, there could be the injuries while training as well. So I don't really want to consider that. They've had a 2-week break. Yeah. They've had a 3-week break, right, Sarnesh?
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, so if they had a break, let them play, man.
And yeah, I think coming back to Coach Mihir, the Copenhagen manager had a very interesting insight after the last game against Istanbul, where his players asked him for bonus, and where he said that, you could just win against Man United, all my bonus is yours. So, yeah, I mean, all that jokes apart, or maybe if he seriously means it, but for a team like Copenhagen, they will need a lot of motivation. They will need a lot of tactical brilliance from their manager as well. They will need some individual brilliance as well from the likes of Wen, who played well last game, because let's face it, United, Inter and Sevilla are the 3 teams that are probably going for the Europa League. They are the top favorites, and even the Copenhagen manager said so. So, I mean, how do you look at this, Mir? If you were the Copenhagen manager, how do you go about setting your team up?
Well, it's when you're the underdog, it's all about your mentality, because a lot of times what happens is you can go down early in the game, or at whatever stage. If you go down, it's important to keep your head calm, keep your composure, and just stay in the game right to the end. Because as the game goes on, the last 10-15 minutes, if you're just trailing by 1 goal, the opposition will normally they will sit back. So that is the time when you can attack and you can try and get something from it. So that's always important, to stay in the game, and that's how actually you can say that we had Fergie time. We always stayed in the game. and that is how we build pressure, and then towards the end get a goal or two. So that's important for
Yeah, I think,
Copenhagen. Yeah.
yeah, I think definitely, because they will have to stay in the game for as long as they can. United haven't played the best brand of football in the last few days, including the last game. So a lot of improvement is required from the team. You'll obviously see the likes of Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, probably even Matic start. So we'll see a lot of first team players again come into the fray. They've had a little bit of a vacation now. But Mihir, one question has been going through a lot of United fans' minds. Kushagra already gave his opinion. He would like De Gea to start.
Yeah.
I personally would like Romero to start because I feel, yeah, he's a cup goalkeeper. No matter what, I think a little bit of faith has to be shown onto him. He has given good performances. He made a crucial save even against LASK. So it's not that he's a bad goalkeeper, and De Gea's form hasn't really been impressive, to be honest. So what would you go for?
Yeah, I think at the start of the season, you have some players who are given their own particular roles, and that especially that goes with the goalkeepers, De Gea and Romero. So yeah, as you said, Romero, I would start with Romero. He's been our cup goalkeeper, and the one time when he didn't play against Chelsea, De Gea made a few blunders. So I think Romero should start, but I think looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and at the end of the day, your managerial career is going to be talked upon on the number of trophies you've won, and that's something that has always come up with someone like Pochettino, that he's done well, but he's not won trophies. So then, what's the use? You can say. So
Yeah.
that's why I won't be surprised if he plays De Gea, but I would prefer it if he goes with Romero.
Yeah, I think even in the post-match press conference, he did mention that De Gea might play or might not play, that Romero isn't his Europa League goalkeeper. It will always be a competition between the two. So that
Yeah.
would be an interesting choice. Otherwise, I think we might have a pretty straightforward selection. Coming to match predictions, boys, neutral location, so there's no home advantage anyway in the post-lockdown period with no fans.
Yeah.
So but playing in Germany, different weather conditions. Manchester usually it rains pretty much almost every time. It is a slight bit chilly when it rains. Otherwise, even in the summer, it's not too hot. But in Germany, it is a bit more chilly. It's a bit more dry. You can tend to feel a little bit of tiredness quickly in such weather conditions. So, do you think that will affect? And Kushagra, your match score predictions?
Uh, I think United will win, and I think it will take them. If so, I feel the match will flow in a way as in United start a little underwhelmingly, but hopefully they'll snatch a goal before halftime. So I'm going for like a 3-1 victory or a 3-0 victory. I know that's expecting a lot out of this team, which hasn't gelled in the past couple of weeks, but if you're not able to beat Copenhagen 2 or 3-0, then you really do not have much of a chance against Inter, Sevilla, or even Wolves for that matter. For me, I think the toughest team left in the competition is Wolves, because Wolves are a bogey team. I know we defeated them in the cup, but otherwise United have struggled especially under Ole. They've really struggled against Wolves. So I'd be hoping to have really praying that Olympiacos did something in that match. Unfortunately, they had a goal ruled out, so they couldn't really get past Wolves. But yeah, so as far as this match is concerned, I expect United to win comfortably. If not a 2-0, I'd go for either a 2-0 or a 3-1. So I'd probably go for a 3-1, might concede one. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the defense has been tested even by LASK. I think it was a beautiful goal by LASK. Let's not take anything away from that. It was a really good goal, well struck. But our defense has been a bit leaky. It never looked like it would take 3 or 4 games with proper clean sheets and strong defensive performances. So you might expect a lapse once or twice within the game wherein Copenhagen might score. But I personally feel we can win this one 2-1. 3 goals, I'd be expecting a little bit too much right now. But you never know. I think if that one game is what it's needed to gel and do well, I think if we can also on our day we can win 4-0 final as well. So that's the kind of team which we have. It's a hit and miss. So that would be interesting. Mihir, your thoughts, final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, so for me, I'll go with Kushagra's prediction. Either it's a 2-0 win or a 3-1 win. I'm not too concerned about the way that we've played, because I think towards the end of the season, we used to play the same 11, 12, 13 players every game. So fatigue did play a would have played a major part, did play a major part towards the end of the campaign. Now the players have got a 2-week rest, and except for Maguire, everyone else has got an extended 3-4 days rest. So I believe that we'll be back to our best tomorrow or on Monday night.
Yeah, actually, we need to be back on our best, because even if we somehow get through Copenhagen, we have some good teams to face in the future rounds. And it would be great to have this game where we score a few goals and we really set ourselves for a big semi-final and then hopefully for a final. So that is the hope for all. A lot of Manchester United fans. Also, there is a here we go that we are waiting for. So that's a long story, summer story for another day. So that gets dragged on. But United's progress in the UEFA Europa League is right on the cusp, and we do face Copenhagen on Monday night in India, and the match starts live at 12:30 a.m. So on local time, it becomes Tuesday at 12:30 a.m. So it's going to be a cracker game. Obviously, in Germany, neutral location, it will be something new for the boys to adjust to. But we really hope that they get down to business really quickly, settle the game in the first half itself, hopefully. So yeah, I mean that is what we think at Sound of Manchester. We think that we are going to win, but it might be an edgy encounter as well. So thank you, Mihir and Kushagra, for joining us, and thank you everyone for watching this video. Keep supporting us. It's been a great season, full of ups and downs, but now here we are at the cusp of probably winning a trophy. So some positive vibes there. And thank you guys. Thank you for tuning into Sound of Manchester.
Here we go.